بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وآله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I hope the food was good. Nasi goreng, sati, ding ding. This is all what I know. But I didn't eat that. I ate Subway. Subhanallah. Anyhow, we begin inshallah. They tell me to give you some motivation exercise. I don't know this. I don't know how to do this. So you motivate yourself, exercise yourself, do something useful, and inshallah, you will wake up. Hadith number 53 was narrated by Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. May Allah be pleased with him. Abdul Rahman ibn Auf is a well-known companion. Unfortunately, we don't have time. I am so behind schedule that the brothers in the organizing committee saying, can you skip so that we can cover some chapters? Unfortunately, I can't. But I hope that the time spent is not wasted. I could speak for 10 minutes about Abdurrahman ibn Auf. Very beneficial, very high motivating, but it's not related to the course. One simple comment from your younger brother, I'm joking, from an elder. When you drink, use your right hand. Why? Because shaitan drinks and eats with his left hand. So I notice you, and you drink with your left hand so many times. So this is a general reminder. You, inshallah, will benefit from it and accept it from an elder brother. It brings sadness to my heart to say this, but this is reality. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah the Almighty say, I am the merciful, Ar-Rahman. I have created ties of kinship, Ar-Rahim, and derived, Ar-Rahim, a name for it from my name, Ar-Rahman. So we spoke about this earlier. We will not elaborate a lot. Whoever maintains ties of kinship, I maintain ties with him, and we've also spoke about this. What is the significance of this hadith? The name of Allah, which is Ar-Rahman. Now, usually I should go on to the following hadith as the organizers have requested, but there is a very essential thing that has to be discussed, and that is the names of Allah Azza wa Jal. This is part of Tawheed. It is important, crucial, has great relevance to our lives. To speak about it, I will blow out the whole course. I cannot do this. What I want to bring to your attention is our belief in Allah's beautiful names is that we believe them as they mean. In Islam's different cults and sects, we have one who completely distorted the names and attributes of Allah. And they are known as Al-Mujassima, those who simulate Allah to us. So they say, Allah's hands, Allah has a hand, Allah has fingers. And they make Allah's attributes like us humans. This is totally haram and prohibited and kufr. On the opposite side, we have people who say, Allah does not have attributes, Allah does not have names. And they are falsifying the Quran. They are the extreme Jahmiyyah, the extreme of Qaramita, Ismailiyya, all these deviant sects. There are those who say Allah has names without attributes. So He is all hearing, but there is no hearing. He is all seeing, basir, but He has no sight. These are the Mu'tazila. There are those who are Asha'ira or Maturidiyya. They say all of Allah's beautiful names, we believe in them. The attributes, we believe in 7. And the rest we distort. We change the meaning. We misinterpret. I will not go into this because this is a long topic that needs explanation for you to know the origin of. Very simple, very easy. Muslims, Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, believe in all Allah's beautiful names and attributes as they are. And we do not simulate, we do not make examples to Allah's beautiful names and attributes. Yet we approve them. Allah says, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٍ. There's nothing like to Him. Yet He is as-Sami' al-Basir. He's all hearing, all seeing, which means His hearing is not like ours. But does Allah hear? Yes. He described Himself to hear. If you come and say, no, He doesn't hear, then you are a kafir. If you say that He hears like I and you hear, this is wrong because you are making examples to Allah Azza wa Jal. Now, I don't want to go into this in detail. All what I want to say that Allah's beautiful names, we have a problem. My name is Al-Hakeem. Is my name appropriate? You have to say yes. My name is Asim Al-Hakeem. We know that Al-Hakeem is one of Allah's names. So, is this right? Or we should say Abdul Hakeem? Okay, we should say Abdul Hakeem. Then should I change my name? The brothers say yes. I'm not going to change my name. Allah's beautiful names are divided into 2 categories. A category that can only be used by Allah. Among them is the name Ar-Rahman and the name, where is it? Allah. Can anyone say, I'm Allah? These are specific names for Allah. Can anyone say, Ana Rahman? No. Rahman, whether with the Al-Rahman or without. Al is identifying article. It's like the. So, I don't have a pen. A pen, any pen would do. The pen, only a particular pen. In Arabic, Rahman, Ar-Rahman can only be used with Allah. Allah can only be used in Allah, with Allah. Okay. Al-Khallaq, Ar-Razzaq, who can give you rizq. This can only be used with Allah. Let's look on the other side. As-Sami' Al-Basir, dealing with hearing and seeing. This can be mutual. Because Allah described the human beings Sami'an Basira. Allah created us hearing and seeing. Not only that, Ar-Ra'uf Ar-Rahim. The Prophet was described in the Quran, chapter 9, to be Ra'ufan bil-mu'minina Ra'ufun Rahim. So the word Ra'uf Rahim, though they are the names of Allah, they can be used with someone else. I'll give you another and dominating example. How about the name of Rahim? Can it be mutual? Yes or no? Yes, we just said Ra'ufun Rahim. How about the name Aziz? Allah mentioned in Surah Yusuf, Ya ayyuhal Aziz. They're addressing who? Addressing the ruler, who is Yusuf. So they called him Al-Aziz. And Allah Azza wa Jal is Al-Aziz. So this is a clear indication that the Alif Lam, the Al, is not necessarily to mean and refer only to Allah, but depends on the name. Therefore, There are special names that cannot be used other than Allah Azza wa Jal, and there are names that are open. This is just a glimpse of, I think it might add value to you to relieve you from the confusion. His name is haram. This is why it is permissible for someone who's known as Abdul Rahim, we call him Rahim. No problem. It's not the preferred. Abdul Rahim is better. Abdul Azim, we call him Azim. Azim is great. The throne of Allah is considered and named by Al-Arsh Al-Azim. So if it is permissible to be called for the throne, it can be called for someone else. But other names that are specifically only for Allah, such as mentioned before, cannot. Inshallah, this does the job. Okay, hadith number 56. And the chapter is Maintaining Ties of Kinship Will Prolong Life. This is one of the reasons I call my kinship. Seriously. And I will come to talk about this in brief, inshallah. Anas ibn Malik says, who's Anas's mother? Anas. Very logical. No, seriously, this is not her name. But this is like saying, do you know who's Anas? He says, yes, he's a companion. MashaAllah. That's a good remark. Who's the mother of Anas? Sulaym, one of the great companions of the Prophet, female companion. Her story would take us to the rest of the course. Her husband is... No. Close, but no cigars. No. Her husband, Malik, died a kafir. But she married someone and she made her dowry him becoming a Muslim. He became a Muslim. He became one of the staunch defenders of the Prophet ﷺ, to the extent he said that the voice of this companion is better than a whole army. Anyone? Good, close. Abu Talha al-Ansari. So he is the stepfather of Anas ibn Malik, Sulaym. It's a long story. Anyhow, you know this, all of you, inshallah. You should know this. This is your history. This is your heritage. If you ask people about the Barcelona team or the Uni club, Manchester United or whatever, or I know people giving me the main team and those on the back bench and the coach and who won in 2005 and who lost. And when you come to the 10 heaven-bound of the companions, what's their name? Amr ibn al-Khattab. Wallahi, I asked people and they said, Amr ibn al-Khattab. I said, MashaAllah, tabarakallah. He's a great companion? I said, yes, Amr. He reminded me of this Greek. You know, in Egypt, they had Greek living in Egypt, and they is known to be Khawaja, meaning that they don't speak Arabic. One of these Greek immigrants living in Egypt was found crying on the day of Ashura. And they asked him, why are you crying? He said, Al-Hasan wal-Hussein, the daughters of Muawiyah, died. So he made them Hasan and Hussein. He made them daughters, and he made them of Muawiyah, not of Ali. So it is a similar thing. You have to know your heritage. You have to know the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, because you want to go to Jannah with them. You don't want to go to Jannah and say, I don't know these. Who's this? It says Salama ibn al-Aqwa. Who? What is Salama? And Aqwa, this is one of the greatest warriors of Islam, whom the Prophet ﷺ asked him to give the Pledge of Allegiance 3 times when the Pledge of Allegiance of Ash-Shajara, when they thought that Uthman was killed in Sulh al-Hudaybiyah. 3 times. I don't know him. Okay, do you know Talha ibn Ubaidillah? It's a name familiar, but I don't know. Do you know Al-Miqdad? I said, no. Do you know this? I don't know anyone. You go to Jannah, you don't know anyone. Go to hell. Oh my God. Look at the celebrities. I love you. You know everybody in hell. Problem. We have issues. We have to solve this issue by learning our seerah, by learning where the Prophet did, who his companions were, so that you love the people that the Prophet loved and you will be with him, inshallah. Allahumma salli wa sallim ala Muhammad. Okay, Anas says, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever wishes to have his provision expanded, in other words, money. You want money? And his term of life prolonged. I would like to live longer, should maintain ties of kinship. What is this? I have gone away. Wallahi, I don't know where I am. 76, countdown. Wait a minute. No? Yeah, alhamdulillah. Bingo. Okay, so this has shaitan. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm. Come on. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, alhamdulillah. Now, this hadith is confusing. Why? The Prophet is telling us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if you want to get your provision extended, would you like more wealth? People say, no, I'm happy. Nobody's happy. The more you get, the better. Huh? As long as it's free, alhamdulillah, and you want your life to be prolonged, then you should connect to your next of kin. The problem is that we know that things have been already ordained. So how can this happen? First of all, there are many interpretations. I will not go into details because, again, this is related to Aqidah. However, the best and most authentic explanation is that there are two types of divine decree. One that is fixed and sealed in the preserved tablet, in the Lawh al-Mahfuz. This was written 50,000 years before any of this was created. 50,000 years before Allah created the creation. So long time ago, it is finished. In it, it's written, Asim's life expectancy is 60 years of age. And then they will turn off the power. Good night. If he connects to his kinship, it will be prolonged into 65 years of age. This is written, and it's also written that he will connect. So it means that Allah, when he decreed something, it's fixed and over. But Allah made things as means and ways to reach that. So it says, for example, today I will have a Subway sandwich. It was half, it was not full. And it was chili, and I don't eat chili. But I ate it, alhamdulillah. It says that as long as I eat it, I will feel full. If I don't eat it, I will feel hungry. All of these are possibilities. In the preserved tablets, it's fixed. The second type of decree, divine decree, is what Allah gives to the angels every year. So Allah tells them every year, Abdullah, Muhammad, Ali will live this long, will get provision of this much, will happen to them so and so. But these things on an annual basis change. How? Allah tells us that if you make dua, this changes destiny. What kind of destiny? The one in the preserved tablets? No, this doesn't change. But it changes with the angels. So the angels know that this individual will die on the 10th month of the year. All of a sudden, they get a change of decree. Give him a year more. Why is that? Because he connected to the next of kin. I personally tried this, not with age. I tried it with money. Whenever I feel that I need more money, more wealth, or when I'm broke, when I'm out of job, I connect to my next of kin, which began long time ago, and alhamdulillah, I'm still doing this. I'm having good relationship with all of my cousins and relatives and uncles and aunts. I noticed that from success to success, personally, I'm getting, alhamdulillah, what's sufficient for me. I don't need to borrow. I don't need anyone's favor, anything. And I attribute this to Allah's favors in the beginning and the end, and to connecting to the next of kin. So, the 1 million Kuwaiti dinar, the ringgit is too low. The dollar is too low. Kuwaiti dinar is, mashallah. The question is, do I do this, that is connect to my next of kin, to get this result of wealth and prolonging my age, or it would be shirk? The answer, so that we would not lose time, it is not shirk. Why? Why am I calling my uncle every week? Because Allah told me to do so, and He also promised me to prolong my life and to increase and expand my provision. So am I doing shirk? The answer is no. You are doing what you were told will happen as a consequence. It's like saying, Sheikh, why are you praying? I said, to get to Jannah. Shirk. You're not doing it for the sake of Allah. Are you crazy? Doing it for the sake of Allah takes you to Jannah, right? So there is no shirk in it. And this is why people get shaitan whispering in their ears, this is shirk, this is not supposed to be. No, it is supposed to be. As long as Allah promised me, if you do this, I will give you this. When you do it, you're not doing shirk. You're doing exactly what Allah has given you as a bonus, as an incentive. Now, telling me that if you do it solely because Allah orders you to do, is a higher grade and degree? Definitely. But if you do it to please Allah and to get earthly and worldly gains, is this haram? No, you're doing exactly what the Prophet is encouraging you to do. Why did he say it in the first place? To encourage you to connect to your next of kin. So inshallah, I know you have many questions. In the last hour, inshallah, we will be able to answer as many as possible. We move on to the following hadith. Hadith of Al-Miqdam. So, Al-Miqdam ibn Ma'di Karb. This is his name. The last name is Ma'di Karb. One name. Ma'di Karb. It's called compound name, like Hadr Maut. Hadr Maut is a compound name. So he said that the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah enjoins you to be dutiful to your mothers. Then He enjoins you to be dutiful to your mothers. Then He enjoins you to be dutiful to your mothers, to your fathers. Then He enjoins you to be dutiful to your next nearest relative, and then to your next nearest relative. Father and mother, we've covered that. But then it's an issue of priority in Islam. So in Islam, you have priorities. When you are through of this, you don't stop. You go to what follows. What follows is your grandparents. So you do not become dutiful. Ya salam. Cappuccino or black? MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Life is beautiful. This is raw sugar. Please. Say Tabarakallah, I don't need evil eye. This age is very critical. I'm not going to pay him. This is my sugar. Okay. I can afford this, I'm Sheikh. So, this sugar is for diabetes. Say, may Allah cure the Sheikh. Ameen. MashaAllah. If you were in my class, I would have given you extra marks, but Alhamdulillah. I didn't sneeze. Somebody said, Yarhamkumullah? Okay, Jazakallah khair. Okay, doke. طيب. So, you have to be dutiful to your grandparents. Some of us are good with their fathers and mothers. That's it. No. Part of being dutiful to your parents is to be dutiful to your grandparents. Part of being dutiful to your parents is to be dutiful to your extended family, your uncles, your aunts. Being nice. In one hadith, a long hadith, I will make it short. A man committed the act of sorcery and went to a sorcerer, etc. And then he wanted to repent. Or a woman, she wanted to repent. So the companions, I think it was Abdullah ibn Umar, said, do you have a mother? He said, no. Like the hadith previous. He said, do you have an aunt? He said, yes. He said, be dutiful to your aunt, your mother's sister, because there's no one closer to you than your aunt after your mother. So now you have to do the calculation. A brother came and said, my mother and father are dead. How can I be dutiful to them? The Prophet said, be dutiful to your next of kin, which you would not have any next of kin other than their way, father, mother. So this is one of the ways that the Prophet is bringing us to our attention, to be dutiful to the nearest relative. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, may Allah be pleased with him, in hadith number 68. Let us look at the chapter. The chapter is, the one who maintains ties of kinship is not merely the one who reciprocates. This is a mistake that the majority of Muslims are falling into. What does that mean? The Prophet ﷺ said, the one who maintains ties of kinship is not the one who simply reciprocates. The one who truly maintains the ties of kinship is the one who, even when his relatives cut him off, still maintains ties of kinship. The vast majority of Muslims fall under this category. Which category? I will only reciprocate. Meaning, you invite me to your daughter's wedding. When it's my daughter's wedding, I will invite you. You visit me in my home, I will return the visit. But if you do not visit me again, I will not. So it is like touche. You do this, I do that. One, you give me one, I give you one. In Islam, it is not the way. The Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam, it is not maintaining kinship to exchange visits. The one who actually maintains the relationship is when people, his relatives, do not call him, he continues to call week after week, month after month, Eid after Eid, in celebrations. He never gives up. Now, who among us does this? Human nature defies this fact. Ya akhi, I visited my cousin 5 times. Not a single time he came to me. I called my uncles, I called my relatives. I have nieces. They never, ever call me at all. I'm older than them. I'm their uncle. I keep on calling them, following them, give them calls whenever I can, and they feel embarrassed. But I still do this. Why? Because I'm a good person. No, I want money. I want provisions. I want to live healthy and long. And I want to please Allah on top of all of this. People tell me, my relatives, my daughters, why do you call your niece? She's younger than you. I said, yes, I'm 20, 30 years old, older, but I still want to get closer to Allah. Now you do the math. Do you do this with your relatives? I call my uncles and aunts. Never expect them to call back. And when they, wallahi, I call them, they apologize. You always call us every week. It's our mistake. We should call you. I said, never say this. You're elders. And we are ordered to respect our elders. You never call me, I call you. But I don't do this with my niece because I am in need of reward. So I call my nieces, I call my relatives and try my level best to gain reward. Never let shaitan comes to you and say, yes, but he never calls back. I always come forward and they never reciprocate. Do whatever you do for who? For Allah. Then you get closer to Allah. If you do for the people's pleasure, you will never succeed. Because no one will be ever happy to fulfill what you expect for them. Always expect your reward to come from Allah, the Almighty. The following hadith, hadith number 96. I just want to see if you're awake or not. See, from Arabic we read from right to left. So hadith number 69 in the chapter, the excellence of the one who maintains relations with relatives who are unjust. So the hadith is by Al-Bara, again a Bedouin, came and said to the Prophet ﷺ, teach me an action that will enable me to enter paradise. Garden is paradise. He said, though your question is short, the topic is wide. Seriously, it is very short. I want to enter Jannah. Is it easy? No, the topic is very short, but it needs a lot of elaboration. So the Prophet summarized it as much as he can. He said, free a soul and set a slave free. The man asked, aren't they the same? He said, no, freeing someone is setting someone free, yourself. Setting a slave free is to contribute. So one is completely 100% from yourself. The other one is assisting in it, whether financially or by saying a word, though he is not yours to free. Then the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, lend an animal for milking that has a lot of milk and give generously to your relatives. This is what we care about. What do you mean by lend an animal to be milked? This in Arabic called maniha, a gift. And in the old days, they didn't have a lot of cash. They had crops and they had animals. And from the animals, a person could milk and consume the milk, and it would suffice for a whole day. A glass of milk would suffice them for a whole day. The dates around to eat, very little provisions, not like today, Subway, and it's not even enough. No, they would eat anything and it would be sufficient. So one of the good deeds in Islam is to give something that would not cost you a thing. He's not milking you, he's milking the animal. What do you have to lose? Oh, it's my animal, it's my goat. Ya akhi, let him milk it. He will benefit from it and it will give you some reward. So the Prophet says, and give generously to your relatives. How many of our relatives are in poverty? How many of our relatives live below the standard of poverty while we are rich? What have we done to contribute? Did we use our influence to secure a decent job? Did we lend them money? I know a lot of Muslims, mashallah, that help their relatives near and far. Wallahi, the more you help, the more wealth you get. It is strange. You give something, and Allah gives you 10 times more on the same day or the next week. I've seen this little, not much, because I'm not following track. But I've heard people giving, sums of money, pieces of land, and Allah gives them 10 times the size of a land. One of the wealthiest men in Saudi Arabia is from the family of Ar-Rajihi. He has a bank, and his bank is one of the biggest banks. And he is a practicing Muslim. He spends one of his organizations, not as lending, spends giveaway, not to come back. Approximately 300 to 400 million ringgits a year. This is a charity organization. He gives to giveaways to the poor, to building a hospital, a university, building a masjid. He was once in a meeting and he was saying, they were telling him, how you invest your money? He said, Wallahi, I don't know. I spent, Allah gives me 10 times. I spent 10 times, Allah gives me 100 times. He said to one of his billionaire businessmen, well-known reciter of the Quran, known by the Sheikh al-Mahaysini. He's a billionaire. He was a very good reciter of Quran. And now he is dealing in real estate. And he works with a Rashi. He said, Mahaysini, what happened to that land in Aziziyah in Mecca that we donated to build a masjid? A land that is worth maybe 70 million. You just donate for a masjid? You're crazy? Donate 7 million, not 70. 70 is a lot. How many Maseratis can I buy with this? Whew. The guy said, I gave it to a masjid. What happened the following week? He said, we got some worth of a 700 million real estate property gift. Yeah, we got to own it. He said, every time I spend, Allah gives me more. I'm tired of this. I'm trying to spend, but Allah keeps on. So the man does not forget Allah's favors upon him. If you maintain your relatives, giving them generously, Allah will give you. But you have to believe. The problem is that we do not believe. When the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wassalam, Zamzam water is a cure from diseases. Those who have diseases, how many of you have sought Allah's cure through Zamzam? Yeah, I believe the hadith. The hadith is authentic. Have you used it? No. My wife has evil eye and 5 jinn, 2 Muslims and 3 kafir. Did you do ruqya? No. Did you give her Zamzam? No. Why? See, the problem is we don't believe. If you believe, wallah, Allah will cure you. And I know this for a fact. If you believe that Allah is the curer, Allah will cure you. If you believe that Allah is the provider, you will give generously and you will see it happening immediately. Okay. Now, one noteworthy is if you look at these good deeds, we did not finish it, did we? Oh, no, we did not. Okay, if you cannot do that, the previous, then enjoin the right and forbid the wrong. If you cannot do that, then restrain your tongue from everything except that which is good. Do not use your mouth to speak anything except good. All of these things are not personal. The Prophet did not tell him, pray night prayer, fast Mondays and Thursdays, read the Quran. Oh, these are good deeds. No doubt in that. All what the Prophet is bringing to his attention is when your good deeds benefit others. So there are transitive and intransitive. Intransitive is what benefits me. So I pray. Who's benefiting among you? No one. I fast. Who's benefiting? No one. But if I give you my goat to milk, you're benefiting. If I show you the way, I'm benefiting you. If I teach you a surah of the Quran, I'm benefiting you. And this is why Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was asked, which is better, to pray night prayer or to study Islamic knowledge? He said, to study Islamic knowledge. They said, why? He said, if you pray, this prayer is for your own. But when you study Islamic knowledge, you will spread it to all. Now this would help the community, help the Muslims, and this is far better for you. Moving on to the following hadith. Uqbah ibn Amir. And Uqbah ibn Amir has also a big, beautiful story when he witnessed the execution of one of the companions and he was not a Muslim. But this is not the time. Uqbah ibn Amir said, the Prophet ﷺ said, if someone has 3 daughters and is patient with them and clothes them from his wealth, they will be shield for him from hellfire. Wow. I hope that I have this, inshallah. I don't have boys. I have 13 girls. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Watch out. Alhamdulillah. And in Arabia, we have a culture. Before Islam, whenever a man gets a daughter, he's disgraced. Why? Because he feels that it brings shame to him. And at the time of Arabia, before Islam, this happened to one tribesman. His enemies waged war and came at night, attacked his tribe, took his daughter, and ran away. His daughter was captive, and the leader of that tribe proposed to her and married her. Of course, she was abducted. So after some time, they managed to reconcile, and he said, okay, bring my daughter to me. So he said to him, she's yours if she wants to go. So the man asked his daughter to come back, and she says, no, I'd like to stay with my husband. He was disgraced by this and decided if ever he were to get a daughter, he would slaughter her. And this became the trend in Arabia before Islam. And this is why Allah mentions in the Quran, وَإِذَا الْمَوْءُودَةُ سُئِلَتْ بِأَيِّ ذَنْبٍ قُتِلَتْ. Al-Maw'udah is the little female child, and can be male, who is killed in her infancy, will be asked on the Day of Judgment, why were you killed? Of course, she will say that my parents killed me, either for the fear of poverty, which is boys and girls, or for the fear of disgrace, which is in the case of girls only. So the Prophet ﷺ came to fix the mentality of the Arabs, who until today wish to have a boy rather than the girl. Sometimes shaitan comes to me and say, Wallahi, if you had a boy, it would have been great. especially when I do the shopping and I have to carry the groceries to the third floor and I have to do this on my own. I will not ask my daughters to wear the hijab and come and to take it from my car. Never. I'll do it myself. But sometimes, if I have a boy, that's good to drive my wife. Women don't drive in Saudi Arabia. Alhamdulillah. Yesterday I was driving with my escort and I saw a female lady driving a bus, a public bus. I almost had a heart attack. But mashallah, she was doing well. But it's crazy. Women, when they drive, good for them. Thanks, but no thanks. So this is how people feel. Islam comes to fix this sick mentality. And look how beautiful it fixes it with. Now, boys are effortless. When they're 5 years old, give them 5 ringgits, go and play in the streets. Don't let me see you. They go, they come at the end of the night. What happened? Who cares? Girls are fragile. They require attention. They require affection. And this we lack. Those who has girls here? MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Girls are very sensitive. If you don't give them love, they'll seek it somewhere else. So the parents should give them extra amount of love, of care, of which we fail a lot of the times miserably. The Prophet is telling us, giving us the glad tiding, don't worry about what you spend. See, a boy, you just give him a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, khalas. Maybe if you give him a jersey with Chelsea on the back or Ronaldinho or Messi, he's happy. He wears it for 1 week. That's why they stink. Girls, on the other hand, no. The skirts, the shirts, the Fendi, or the Louis Vuitton, or the... It's expensive to take care of girls. So the Prophet gives you the glad tidings. Listen, you clothe them, you're patient with them, you give them from your wealth, they will be your shield from hellfire. Never ever, boys, will be your shield. No hadith, to my recollection. All about girls, because girls are gems. Those who don't have girls, I apologize. But maybe you should work overtime. Try your level best. So this hadith shows you how to be nice and kind to your children in general, specifically to girls, that Allah Azza wa Jal would grant you this favor. So there are 3 conditions. 1, that there are 3 girls or more. 2, that you're patient in taking care of them. And thirdly, that you spend from your wealth. You do these 3 conditions, you get to Jannah, and they will be your shield from hellfire. Nevertheless, Allah is most generous. In other narrations, the Prophet said, even if you have 2 girls. Wow. One of the companions, female, said, and if we thought, if we asked him, what about 1? He would have said, even 1. So being kind to your daughters is a great reward for you. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, whoever has 3 daughters or 3 sisters. So even if you don't have daughters, you may have sisters. Then he said, or 2 daughters or 2 sisters. And he is patient and kind to them and fears Allah in them, he will be in Jannah. Now, how do you treat them patiently and be good with them? It's not only feeding them or clothing them. It is upbringing them to be practicing Muslims. So, you have to teach them how to pray. You have to teach them how to abide by the hijab. And abiding by the hijab is not just wearing the clothes. This is physical. I get sisters, with all due respect, I get sisters with the niqab, the ninja mask. They come to me, mashallah, fully dressed from top to bottom, and they crack jokes with me. What kind of hijab is this? If you do not abide by the hijab physically and, most importantly, spiritually, then your hijab is nothing. If you cover, mashallah, wearing the hijab, and you chit-chat, you socialize, you post your Facebook pictures, and you talk on Twitter, and you make jokes with other men, non-mahram, what kind of hijab is this? I got two of the sisters in a conference I was. After the conference, they asked me a question, and I answered them. And they said, can we take selfie pictures with you, Sheikh? Excuse me? Says, can we take pictures with you? I said, no, you can't. Don't you know this is haram? What kind of hijab is this? She said, Sheikh, there are many scholars who come here and take this. I said, astaghfirullah, I don't know what kind of scholars you're talking about. My shaitan says, take pictures. But Islam tells me this is a sin. What kind of religion are you practicing? Once you cross the line, you never can retreat. As our brothers say, once you go black, you never go back. But this is almost as true. If you cross the line, if you allow shaitan to take you there, you will never go back. So hijab that you bring up your wife, your sister, your child, your daughter on is not only the physical, the sentimental, the spiritual, the mental hijab that should be adhered to, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. طيب. I'm getting so many enemies. Ibn Abbas said, hadith number 77, and the heading of the hadith is whoever cares for one or two daughters. So, the Prophet said, alayhi salam, there is no Muslim who has two daughters and takes good care of them, but that they will make him enter paradise. So one is a shield from hell. As a subsequent, you will. There is no way in between. If you do not enter hell, you will enter paradise, and we will not elaborate more. Hadith number 86. 80 what? 86? In your notes? People are asleep. طيب. Hadith 86. Carrying a child on one's shoulders. Al-Bara ibn Azib, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, said, I saw the Prophet ﷺ, and Al-Hasan, may Allah be pleased with him, was on his shoulder. He was saying, Oh Allah, I love him, so you love him. Nothing to speak about this, right? Clear, huh? It's clear, but we still need to investigate. First of all, what do we learn from this hadith? One, loving your children, caring for them, hugging them, kissing them, showing them your affection, showing them your feelings. So many of us, I'm talking about myself as well, don't succeed in expressing our feelings. This is something you have to work on, especially men. Men don't express their feelings well. When we sit together, us men, we talk about how many pounds did I bench press today in how many cars, my experience in buying real estates or stocks and things like this. No emotions. Sisters, when they sit together, they cry and weep and cry and weep, talk about their love and affection and sorrow and tragedies. And when a sister sits with her husband, it's a ratio of 10-1. She's talking, he says, yes. How was work? Okay. What did you do? Nothing. And if he made the cardinal mistake by saying, what about your day? Allahu Akbar. She says, I called your mother and she said this and this, and then your sister. She talks with love, with emotion. And if we fail as men to reciprocate, we have a problem. So this is men's nature. However, this is not right. Now, who was the bravest man of all? The Prophet ﷺ. Who was the strongest? Who was the most fearful of Allah Azza wa Jal? Yet, he had no problem in showing his affection. My wife comes to me and says, do you love me? I said, I've been with you for so long. Yes, do you love me? I love all Muslims. No, as a wife, do you really love me? You're the mother of my children. What's wrong with you? We fail to say the word. Yahi, you're married. You're not dating her. You're married. You're not going to be held accountable. So say it. Now, I fail miserably in so many times. But whenever I give lectures like this, I remind myself. And my wife knows this. She said, strange, when you travel for 5 days to Malaysia, you keep on texting me, I love you, you send me hearts, you send me lipsticks. I said, yes, because I do not have someone to remind me. Therefore, when I remind you, I'm reminding myself. So I keep on sending her things. And this is expensive because I go to the duty-free in the Kuala Lumpur airport. And I feel so energetic. I buy jewelry and I buy stuff. After a week from arriving, what have I done? But it pays, alhamdulillah. It gives her fuel for another couple of years. Which means that we are dry in emotions. We have to work real hard. And working hard takes you to Jannah. Do it for the sake of Allah. Allah loves you. I give you the permission to take your mobiles and send your wives an SMS. Okay, so first of all, who's Al-Hasan? The Prophet used to call him my son. Was he his son? He was the grandson of the Prophet ﷺ. And he used to call him Sayyid. He's the head and the master of the Muslims. Why? Because the Prophet said that Allah will reconcile between two great factions of Muslims through him. And this happened. So many fabrications about him, saying that he used to marry 40, 50, 60 women. And he used to marry in 4, divorce in 4. And these are some of the fabrications about him. May Allah be pleased with him. Also that he was killed and poisoned. And they claim that Muawiyah, may Allah be pleased with him, poisoned him. All of this is from the Rafidah. None of it is true. But that he is, along with Al-Hussein, the masters of the youth in Jannah. May Allah be pleased with him. The Prophet ﷺ did not hesitate to express his love to Al-Hussein, to carry him on his shoulder. You ask yourself, how close am I to my children, to my grandchildren? There are so many hadiths about this, but this is not the topic, how the Prophet used to play with them. Imagine the khatib in Jum'ah is giving the sermon, the khutbah, and during the khutbah, he comes down and he carries a child and takes him back to the mimbar and continues with khutbah. What would you say? The Prophet used to do this with Hassan. He said, I could not help myself. I saw my grandson walking. He's 3 years of age, wearing this red garment and falling and walking. 3 years. He is fitna. I had to come and hold of him. The Prophet? Yes, the Prophet. To give you an example how to be with your children. We are unfortunately professionals in criticism. Why are you wearing this? Look at your hair. When was the last time you did this? Did you pray? Did you do this? Did you do that? Your homework. You didn't eat your food. Why are you looking at me like this? Why are you treating your children like this? We are professionals in criticizing. How many times did we say encouraging words to him? How many times in front of the guests, when he comes in, I say, look at my son. This is my son. MashaAllah, he memorized Surah An-Nas. MashaAllah. To you, it's nothing. To them, it's nothing. To him, it's the whole world. He will live after this comment for a couple of years. My father praised me in front of his guests, and he was proud of me. I will memorize the whole Quran, inshallah. A word that you say you do not pay attention to sticks with them till the end of their lives. So always put this in mind. It might come handy and helpful. Hadith number 89. Mothers are merciful. And this is by default. Anas ibn Malik, may Allah be pleased with him, said that a woman came to Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her, and Aisha gave her 3 dates. Now, this to us may sound a little bit absurd. 3 dates? Yes, this could have been the provision of a whole week. Not that. This woman who came to Aisha did not have even a single date. She came begging. And Aisha had nothing in the house of the Prophet ﷺ except 3 dates. 1, 2, 3. Is this logical? The best people in paradise used to live like this. The Prophet ﷺ, in his 9 homes, 2 months would pass without cooking, without lighting fire to cook. Urwa asked his aunt, Aisha, what did you feed on? 2 months without cooking? She said, dates and water. That is it. In the house of who? The Prophet ﷺ. Let's go to my kitchen. Open the cupboards. You will find food with expiry dates of a year or 2. We have stacks and stacks of food. If famine would strike us, it would last for a year. And we want to enter the same Jannah? This is how they used to live. So she gave her 3 dates. The woman gave each of her children a date and kept 1 date for herself. The children, of course, being children, consumed it on the spot. They're hungry and they're children. So after they ate it, they looked at the single date that their mother had. Now, logically, you and I would have eaten the 3 dates, and the children, Allah will take care of them. This is what we do. This mother could not eat her own date. She had to split it into 2 and give each half to the children or to the boys. The Prophet ﷺ came. Mother Aisha told him, I saw this astonishing event. The Prophet said, why are you so astonished? Allah will have mercy on her because she had mercy on her children. What do we learn from this hadith? We learn that it is a cause of reaching and getting Allah's mercy to be merciful to your children. Now, mercy is a big word. This here is a display when mercy interacts and is interrupted by our own desires. If we have a lot of money, you have no problem in giving away. When the money is scarce and little, then this shows and illustrates your sincerity. This woman displayed the mercy that got her into Allah's mercy because she was in need of that, and this is how we should be with our children. Now, expressing our feelings to our children is essential. And we can spend the whole day talking about the importance. Why do we have this rigidness in the society? Why do we see people get hurt? Could care less. This is not my problem. Because of the lack of experiencing or showing your affection to your children. The following hadith, hadith number 90, is in kissing the children. What is the ruling on that? There are two hadiths here, I think. Hadith 90 and hadith 91. So, hadith 90, Anas ibn Malik says, very good, very good, very good. Nobody's noticing. We took hadith Anas ibn Malik. What are you? Sleeping? Aisha says, may Allah be pleased with her, a Bedouin came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, do you kiss your children? We do not kiss them. The Prophet said, ﷺ, can I put mercy in your heart after Allah has removed it? I cannot help you. The second hadith, Abu Hurairah said, the Prophet of Allah ﷺ kissed Al-Hasan. I don't know why this question mark here, but probably it is one of the vows, habits. I don't know. Very nice. Kissed Al-Hasan ibn Ali while Al-Aqra' ibn Habis At-Tamimi was sitting with him. Al-Aqra' said, I have 10 children, and this is an I have never kissed any of them. The Prophet ﷺ said, or looked at him and said, whoever does not show mercy will not be shown mercy. Who will not show him mercy? Allah. So if you do not express your mercy to, now I know how frozen chicken feels. It's either sweating like crazy or being, mashallah, like frozen chicken. So don't you have mercy so that Allah will be merciful to you. Okay, what do we understand from these two hadiths? First of all, some believe and think that when you do not express your emotions, you are a man. That you are showing your macho-nism, whatever the noun is. Is this right? No, because our role model is the Prophet ﷺ. So this Bedouin is saying, I have 10 children. I never kissed a single one of them. In this dryness of affection and love deprives you from Allah's mercy. The Prophet ﷺ has no problem in expressing his feelings, listen, publicly. You may love your children privately. The Prophet expresses this what? Publicly, which shows you that it has a great role in upbringing your children. And this hadith, like the one after it or the one before it, expresses to us an issue that the more you do it, Allah will do the same to you. If you express your mercy, Allah will have mercy on you. If you forgive, Allah will forgive you. If you pardon, Allah will pardon you. And this was mentioned in Surah An-Nur when Mastah ibn Athatha, who's he? I don't know. I might have made up this name. If you don't know, might as well make up names. Who cares? Who's Mastah ibn Athatha? He's the cousin of Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr used to give him allowance when they came to Medina because he was stone broke. He was from Ahlul Suffah. So he gave him weekly allowance. Mastah did a major mistake when he, along with two other companions, slandered Mother Aisha with zina. Of course, this was prepared by Abdullah ibn Ubay ibn Salul and the hypocrites. These three companions made the mistake, and when Abu Bakr saw this action from his cousin, and he's not slandering anyone, he's slandering my daughter, and I'm giving him money. And my daughter is not any daughter, she is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, by Allah, I will never give him a single penny after today. Was he wrong? Was he wrong? If you had someone slandering your daughter, some of us might even kill that person. No, he did not do this. He just simply refrained from giving him money. This is the least you do. Allah revealed an ayah in the Quran. The Prophet took the ayah and said, Abu Bakr, didn't you hear what Allah said? He said that let not those whom Allah gave wealth and money swear by Allah not to give the poor, the muhajirin, and those who are related to them. And they must and should forgive and pardon. Don't you want Allah to forgive your sins? This ayah was recited to Abu Bakr by the Prophet. And it came down for him. Abu Bakr immediately on the spot said, by Allah, I want Allah to pardon me and forgive me. I make you my witness that I will never ever cut his allowance from today. A man who slandered my daughter, who is the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, and he's my cousin, I will keep on giving him allowance until I die. You treat people, Allah will treat you accordingly. You treat people with a vengeance, with hatred, with enmity, Allah will punish you because of that. You forgive. People cut in front of you while driving. What do? If I am driving and someone cuts in front of me, I will follow him until Mecca. Until I come and cross in front of him, maybe make him go roll over or do whatever. What is this? This hatred in us. These feelings of anger. You will not get Jannah like this. If he does this, may Allah forgive him. Look at the bright side. He could have hit you. He didn't hit me, alhamdulillah. Most people don't do this. They don't say alhamdulillah. They say, I will go and hit him. Okay, then what? He may die. He may damage your car. You will lose a lot of hours. It's rage. It's anger. Treat people with it. Allah will deal with you in the same fashion. Forgive, pardon, and forget about it. Allah Azza wa Jal will conceal your sins and shortcomings. Hadith number 93 in the chapter. Good conduct from the parent and his duty towards his child. This hadith will bring us a lot of problems. Why? I'll tell you why. Let us go through the hadith and then see the problems we have. If I freeze, put some hot water on me. Okay. An-Nu'man ibn Bashir. Not that I cannot read it, but it's less air conditioning here. Nu'man ibn Bashir is a companion. His father is Al-Bashir ibn Sa'd, another companion. So, Nu'man ibn Bashir, any hadith you know, famous? One of the 4 prominent hadiths in Islam. إنما الأعمال بالنيات عمر ibn al-Khattab. من أحدث في أمرنا ما ليس منه فهو رد. عائشة بنت أبي بكر. نعمان ibn Bashir, excellent, ما شاء الله. الحلال بين والحرام بين وبينهما أمور مشتبهات فمن اتقى الشبهات فقد استبرأ لدينه وعرضه ومن وقع في الشبهات أوشك أن يقع في الحمى ألا إن لكل مالك حمى ألا إن حمى الله محارمه. You know that hadith, but do I have to translate it? Halal is clear, haram is clear. Among them are dubious matters of doubt. This hadith is 1/3 or 1/4 of the total of Islam. It revolves around these 4 hadiths. Nu'man ibn Bashir is this narrator of the great hadith. So he said that his father, Al-Bashir ibn Sa'd, carried him to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, "O Prophet of Allah, I ask you to witness that I have given Nu'man so and so gift." What is the origin of this hadith? The origin is Nu'man has children and from different wives. So let me rephrase that. You're asleep. Nobody's paying attention. Al-Bashir, alhamdulillah, there's one awake. Al-Bashir had many wives and children. He liked his youngest, Nu'man. So he wanted to give him a property. His mother was a wise, knowledgeable woman. And she said, "I will not accept you giving to my child, to my son, unless you make the Prophet your witness." Who among our women would do this? You say, "Give. You go to hell, but give. No problem." She's wise. See, knowledge purifies your soul. Knowledge elevates your status where money cannot affect you. She did not allow this because she sensed that there was something wrong in such a gift. So Al-Bashir went to the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "I want to make you my witness." The Prophet asked him a question. He said, "Have you given each of your children the same?" The man said, "No." The Prophet said, "Then ask someone else to witness it." The Prophet ﷺ said, "Do you not want all of them to be equally dutiful to you?" The man said, "Yes, indeed." The Prophet said, "Then do not do that." There are a number of narrations, different narrations to this. So among the narrations, the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, said to him, "Have you given all your children the same?" He said, "No." The Prophet said, "I do not testify on injustice. Take someone else." And the Prophet in another narration said, "Fear Allah in your offspring and be fair to them." So now we have a number of issues. There is a difference between a gift and, let us say, what you pay as not an allowance, something that is needed. What is the difference? A gift is something that you give for no apparent justifiable reason. So I have 3 children. One of them I love a lot. So every time I come back home, I bring him a present. This is what? This is a gift. On Eid, I give my children money. What is this? This is a gift. In this gift, I must be equal to all of them, because it's a gift. Now, the other way is what is known as nafaqah. Nafaqa or expenditure is what I give according to the need. I have a young son who's 19 years of age, and I have a toddler who is 3 years of age. This one goes to the university. I bought him a car. I give him gas money. He needs money to buy books. He needs money to buy stuff for his school, his clothes. While the toddler maybe gets 5% of what I give to his older brother. Is this halal? Yes. No one would say, no, you have to give them the same. He'll become a millionaire in no time, the young one. So there is a difference. Also, this is not our topic, if you have 2 wives, may Allah have mercy on you. If you have 2 wives, you don't say the first wife has 5 children, the second wife has no children, but I have to give them for money of the house and groceries 1,000 ringgits, and I have to give her 1,000 ringgits as well. No. She requires maybe 200, and this one requires 1,000 for the children. If this one gives birth and I pay 10,000 ringgits for the operation in the hospital, the other one doesn't have the right to say, give me the same amount. Because this is not a gift. But if I come back and I buy a gift to this one, I have to be equal to the other one and give her exact amount of money or the same gift. So this is a major difference. One would say, okay, but I have 3 children. 2 of them are not obedient, and one is very obedient. How can I be equal with them? It is must for you to be equal with them when you give gifts. One of them is an A student in school. The other two always flunk, never pass. Don't I give him a present because he's an A student? No. Be careful, huh? A lot of us don't follow this rule. The Prophet gave us, alayhi salatu wasalam, the measuring tool. He said, do you want or do you not want all of them to be equally dutiful? Then you must be dutiful to them, equal in whatever you give as gifts. The difference in treating your children is catastrophic. Biggest example? Hello? Abu Yusuf, what's his name? I know it's Abu Yusuf. Abu Yusuf is my friend, he's my neighbor. The Prophet, Yaqub. Yaqub is the son of a prophet, the son of a prophet. So Yusuf is a prophet, the son of a prophet, the son of a prophet, the son of a prophet. When the Prophet was asked, who is the most honorable of men? He said, Al-Karim, Ibn al-Karim, Ibn al-Karim, Ibn al-Karim. Yusuf, the son of Yaqub, the son of Ishaq, the son of Ibrahim. Yaqub was a prophet of Allah. He was definitely fair to all of his children, but there was an extra amount of love that it was so obvious he could not hide it. To whom? To Yusuf, which led his siblings to plot and get rid of him. Subhanallah, the sons of a prophet do such heinous act? Yes, out of jealousy. Then what would you expect your sons to do? And this is why it is extremely important in being fair when giving gifts. Not only that, even when you give kisses. Sometimes we tend to cuddle and love and kiss one child more than the other. What does this cause in his heart? Enmity. I have in my children so old, yani in their 30s. Ya Sheikh, yeah, I'm old, I'm just pretending. I have from my own daughters who are jealous of one of my daughters, who is extremely perfect in everything she does to me and to her mother. And I never say this, but they say, yes, we know that you love her more. I never give her gifts But we can say, MashaAllah, most of my daughters are normal. This particular daughter, may Allah bless her, and her husband, and her three children. She has a son called Assim. I call him the Sheikh. So if I am sitting and I do this, she immediately stands and goes there. And then she says, what do you want? Tissues, water, milk, anywhere I look, she's there standing. Seriously, it's like, the radars of missiles. So I keep on looking at her mother. She says, what do you want? Kill. No, the point is that you cannot hide your love to one of your children who is obedient, who goes out of his way to serve you, to do whatever you want. Yet this causes enmity in the hearts of the others. So you must be careful in whatever you give as a gift. And wallah, this is difficult. I go to the Maldives and I want to buy them gifts. So I have to buy them 13 gifts. It has to be precisely the same price. And I get my calculators and okay, how much is this? How much is that? And I manage to do this in an hour. Because I'm afraid Allah would put me in hell. So in gifts, cash is best. So you give 500, khalas, alhamdulillah. It's done. Because when you want to buy something, it's difficult to find something for a toddler and a grown-up person. Now, is the mother the same concept or not? Must the mother be fair with her children like the father? Definitely. The mother has to be fair. Okay? Do we have to be fair when giving a gift to the boy exactly as we give to the girl? Or is it double the girl like inheritance? This is an issue of dispute among scholars. Sheikh bin Baz, Sheikh bin Uthaymeen, and the permanent committee of IFTA say it is like inheritance. The girl gets half of the boy when it comes to financing, when it comes to money. I choose the other opinion. And the reason I choose the other opinion is that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, the reason. You want them to be equally dutiful? So if I have a boy and a girl, and I give the boy 1,000 and the girl 500, would I expect the girl to be as dutiful as the boy or half? Did I hear someone saying half? The food was good. No. If I give the boy 1,000 and the girl 500, I expect them all to be equal. Therefore, I have to be equal in giving them both 1,000. And this is a respected view of a great number of scholars like Al-Baghawi, who's a Shafi'i, and other scholars, which I believe that is in line with the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. Now, a lot of the people, the elders like myself, have a problem when they have 3 kids. Drink with your right hand, please. Okay. When they have kids, they get the first one married, they get the second one married, and when the third man, they fail to get him married, or they die before getting him married, they write in their will that he should get married from my inheritance. Is this permissible? So that he is equal? The issue is, when you die, the money is not yours anymore. And you cannot write a will to one who will inherit you. I can write a will giving 1/3 or less of my wealth to whom? Anyone. Providing he or she will not inherit me. So the brother, Zallah Khair, he writes in his will, 1/3 of my money to Sheikh Assim. Do this, it's good. Try it, just write it down and take it to the lawyer. Just an example. Maybe, who knows, I get lucky. This is halal. But if he writes 1/3 of his inheritance or of his wealth to his wife, it's cancelled. To his son, to his daughter, cancelled. Because they are inheriting him. They cannot have any share in the will, which is 1/3. Now, when you die, I cannot give 1/3 from your 1/3 to the son who was not married. So this is not a gift to be equal and fair in. This is something that they need. And it is part of the nafaqah. Okay. I think this is it. We move on. There are other aspects, but time does not permit us. 96. Hadith number 96 in the chapter that one who does not show mercy will not be shown mercy. The hadith is crystal clear. The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will not show mercy to someone who does not show mercy to the people. And specifically, we are talking about your children, your relatives, your neighbors. Being merciful is part of the essence of Islam. Even when we slaughter an animal, you have to be kind and merciful. I'm killing it. I'm killing the animal. You must have mercy in you. This is why we say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. The mercy is every aspect we do in our lives. Then, we move on to 131. This is a little bit on page 102 or 103. Hadith 131. Part 2. What is this? Hello? After lunch. Yeah, this is supposed here after lunch, and we're after lunch. So we're on time, alhamdulillah. Okay. Now, Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, said that the Prophet ﷺ said, the person who strives on behalf of the widows and the poor is like those who do jihad in the way of Allah and like those who fast in the day and pray at night. Subhanallah. Can this be an authentic hadith? Definitely it is authentic, no doubt. The reward is mind-blowing. Taking care of a widow or the poor gives me the status of someone who is fighting in jihad, or praying all night long, not 1 hour, 2 hours, all night long, and fasting all day time. Yes. Subhanallah. The Prophet in this hadith shows us that our religion, Islam, is a holistic religion. It takes care of the society. It takes care of the vulnerable and the weak. It is not a religion for the strong and everyone else, we crush them with our feet. It is not a religion of the young, but it is a religion of compassion to the whole society. One for all and all for one. Has nothing to do with the Three Musketeers. It has to do with the society we live in. You will not become a Muslim until you care for your neighbor, until you care for the one who's in need. And the one who's in need is not the one who comes begging. The one who is in need is the one in her home nobody knows about. She might die out of starvation because her neighbors did not do their due diligence by checking on her. This is the role of the sisters, to know your neighbors. Give them some biryani, give them some nasi goreng, give them some, sambusa or some soup in Ramadan. Check on them. If they need help, your husband will provide. If he cannot, call your relatives and provide. But you have to take care of a widow. Why? In a lot of the societies, when a woman's husband dies, she's dead. The Hindus have had this in their religion. Now, by law, it's banned, although it's still practiced. They criminate. Is it criminate? Cremate, incriminate, who cares? My English is awful. I'm not practicing, sorry. I can challenge you in Arabic if you wish. So, cremate their deceased, and an old practice was to put his wife with him and burn her alive. And if I were to hear the dead person, he would cry, in life she was with me, now you bring her again with me in death. But of course he cannot speak, he's dead. So this practice is still valid today. A woman's strength is through her husband. He's her rock. He provides for her, he protects her, he gives her shelter, he does everything to make her his queen. When he dies, all of her world collapses. Islam tells all of the community to be her rock, not to let her into depression. Women are the glass bottles, as the Prophet ﷺ described them. They're so fragile, they can break, so we have to take care of them. And if you look at the wives that the Prophet had married, ﷺ, all of them, or most of them, the vast majority of them, were widows. Subhanallah. He could have married anyone he wanted. He wouldn't. All of those whom he married, most of them were widowed, except for Aisha. May Allah be pleased with her. And look at his story when Salama died, her husband died. Who's the husband of Salama? Abu Salama, of course. So Abu Salama was the brother of the Prophet ﷺ through suckling. They were suckled both by the same woman. When he died in Medina, the Prophet proposed to her. And subhanallah, to this beautiful dua. She said, when Abu Salama died, I remembered that the Prophet said and taught us a dua. Whoever is struck by a calamity and says, Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Allahumma ajirni fi musibati wa khlufni khayran minha. Roughly translates to, we belong to Allah and to Him we shall return. O Allah, reward me in my calamity and substitute me with something that is better. She said, when he died, I immediately said this dua. And then contemplated to myself, who can be better than Abu Salama, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ? After 5 or 6 months, when her iddah was over, the proposal of the Prophet came to her ﷺ. She complained, O Prophet of Allah, I cannot marry you. Huh? You crazy? She said, O Prophet of Allah, I am an old woman and I have children and I'm extremely jealous. 3 valid reasons. The Prophet responded, I am older than you. Your children are under my guardianship. I'll take care of them. As for your jealousy, I will ask Allah and you will be relieved of it. And the Prophet married her. And whenever, the Prophet had problems with his wives. There were 2 parties. Party of Aisha, Hafsa and other wives, and a party of Zainab bin Jahsh, his cousin, the beautiful cousin of the Prophet ﷺ from Quraysh, and those who followed her. And they used to fight and make problems to the Prophet ﷺ, that I do not know how he tolerated it. But whenever they fought together, the only one who would mediate and go to the Prophet to convey their point of view was Salama. Why? Because the Prophet trusted her that she's not jealous. Allah took the jealousy. So he trusted that she wouldn't take sides to any of these two parties. So widows have a great role in the society, and we have a great responsibility towards them. To end up the story, it's not a story, I don't know why people come. Do you know someone or companion? The sisters should know. Asma bintu Umays. You know her? Raise your hands. MashaAllah. See, the sister at the back, I cannot see her, I cannot hear her. So she raises her hand because she knows I'm not going to ask her. Good, good. Who's Asma bint Umays? Asma bint Umays, now, was the companion of the Prophet. MashaAllah. Einstein could not have figured this out. May Allah be pleased with her. Asma bint Umays. A very strange thing. She's the one who was married to Ja'far ibn Abi Talib. Who's Ja'far ibn Abi Talib? You know, the man with the two wings flying in Jannah. The brother of Ali. Very good. Ja'far migrated to Habasha, Abyssinia, stayed there, came back on the 7th year of Hijrah in Khaybar. And she was with him. His wife, he had 3 children. The eldest, to my recollection, is Muhammad ibn Ja'far, if I'm not mistaken. He was martyred in the battle of Mu'tah on the 8th year of Hijrah. You know the story of the 3 companions, one, then one, then one. Zayd ibn Haritha, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, then Abdullah ibn Rawaha. This is not our problem. She became what? Asma bint Umays became a widow. Who married her? Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He married her, stayed with her for a couple of years or so, had 1 child of him, also named Muhammad. And Abu Bakr died. She was the only one to wash his body. And this is in response to the brothers from the other schools of thought that say when a man dies, the woman becomes haram for him. She cannot see him. She cannot wash him. This is totally fabrication. Ali, when Fatima died, was the only one to wash her. Abu Bakr, when he died, his wife Asma bint Umays washed him. She became a what? A widow. Who married her for the 3rd time? Ali ibn Abi Talib. Are you kidding me? There are no women? Why insisting on this widow? Because this is not just any woman. She is a great companion of the Prophet ﷺ. And she had traits and characteristics in her that made men, not for her beauty, maybe she's beautiful, I don't know, but she was a good wife, a good mother, that if you weigh her in gold, she would overweigh the gold. It was reported, I know they're going to kill me for not following the schedule, but who cares? It was reported that Ali ibn Abi Talib was sitting there with his wife, Asma bint Umays, and her 2 children, Muhammad ibn Ja'far, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, were disputing and fighting one another. Muhammad ibn Ja'far says, my father is better than your father. My father is the cousin of the Prophet ﷺ. My father died as a martyr. Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr says, my father is better than your father. Now they have the what? They have the same? Hello? They have the same mother. The mother is Asma bint Umays. So Ali was there watching. He said, you be the judge, Asma. So she looked at Muhammad ibn Ja'far. She said, your father, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, is the best of the youth. And your father, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, is the best of the mature and old men. Fair? Ali says, Asma, where does this leave me? If he's the best of the youth and he's the best of the mature, what do I do? She said, by Allah, 3 like this, and you're the third one, is not bad. And you're the third of these 2, it's not bad. He said, by Allah, if you had said anything else, I would have hated you. Meaning, if you changed it and said, no, you're better than him or better than that, I would have hated you. What you've said is the total, absolute truth. So, widows in Islam, we're encouraged to take care of them by marriage, if not possible, by taking care of their financial needs, by ensuring their comfort, and that they do not need to anyone or any organization. Okay, hadith number 200. Whoa, that's a lot. $276. That is page 191. I think I'm the fastest one in flipping the pages. Okay, the chapter that deals with the contentment of the self. And in this, how many hadiths we have left according to schedule? Too many. That's not precise. $15 minutes left. And how many hadiths for today? Ya Latif. 30. Okay. See, this hadith, I have written 2.5 A4 pages in Arabic, just to tell you what is included in it. It is extremely important to go through it because this is a life changer. Now, Abu Huraira says, the Prophet ﷺ said, wealth does not mean having a lot of possessions. Wealth means having self-contentment. Khalas. It's clear, right? Now, the issue is the majority of Muslims are not content. Allah Azza wa Jal describes the people on earth in general by saying, وَقَلِيلٌ مِّنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. Very little, very rare among my servants who would be grateful and thankful. And this is unfortunately the case. Nowadays, when we ask people, how are you? I always repeat this, so maybe you've heard it somewhere else, but I love it because it illustrates, it explains how we behave. When someone asks you, Ya salam, no, I'm in paradise. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. No, I think you can take this one because I don't want to mix apples with oranges. Jazakallah khair. So, if you ask someone, Akhi, how are you? He said, Wallahi ya Akhi, I have high blood pressure. I'm diabetic. My cholesterol is hitting the ceiling. My wife is nagging. My son is drinking alcohol. My daughter ran with her boyfriend. My neighbor is throwing the trash in front of my porch. And my boss is depriving me of my long-awaited raise and favoring my other colleague. But Alhamdulillah. So to answer, how are you? It could have been only, but people are not content. Some of us dare not say it. How are you? Alhamdulillah. But deep down inside, Allah is not giving me enough. Seriously. Look at me. Allah is not giving me enough. Everyone else is happier than me, richer than me, healthier than me. But alhamdulillah, we do not dare to speak. I visited an uncle of mine, an elder, who was in his mid-70s. He's long gone. May Allah have mercy on his soul. He was sick, bedridden. I visited him and I said, Uncle, how do you feel? Alhamdulillah, no complaints. But what is eating me is this. My neighbor, for 50 years, he doesn't pray, he doesn't fast, and he is as strong as a bull. While I pray 5 times a day in the masjid, and I do all righteous deeds, and look what's happening to me. The man erased all of his good deeds by complaining. Look at what happens. So we can be like this if we don't find the contentment in our hearts. If we do not appreciate Allah's favors upon us, if we think for a second that Allah is favoring others more than us, then we have a serious problem. This is why you have people on their dying bed failing to say the kalima. They live 60, 70 years praying, fasting. When they come to die, they fail to say the kalima because they did not actually live on the kalima. They pretended like everyone else. We all pray, alhamdulillah, we fast, alhamdulillah. Here, there's no contentment. Now, the Prophet ﷺ's way of life is totally different. The Prophet ﷺ could have been the richest man on earth, right? Jibreel came to him and he said, if you wish all of the sand in Mecca, I will turn it for you into gold. If someone comes to you with a proposal, what would you say? Diamonds would be better. But gold would do. No complaints. Seriously, the Prophet said, no, I'd like to be a servant and a messenger. I don't want to be a king and a prophet. I just want to be a servant. The Prophet ﷺ used to ask Allah for provisions that are so little, that are only food. He doesn't want cash. He doesn't want property. He died leaving no property at all, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Yet, with all this sort of poverty, lack of money, he was the most generous. He never ever said no in his speech. A man comes to him, a woman comes to him and says, "O Prophet of Allah, I made you a garment," because she saw that the Prophet was in need. He did not have a whole wardrobe of suits, Armani and Versace, and no. The Prophet had only one garment. So she made him this garment to wear, and he put it on. And immediately after putting it on, one of the companions said, "Oh, Prophet of Allah, it looks so nice. Give it to me." So the Prophet took it off and gave it to him. The companions were very hard on this man. "Are you crazy? You know that the Prophet never rejects anyone who asks him, and that he was in need of that garment." He said, "Yeah, I know, but I wanted it to be my shroud when I die in my grave," seeking the barakah of the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet, in one of the battles, Battle of Hunain, they captured approximately 40,000 heads of sheep. 40,000 is a little? How many do we have here? Not sheep, people. 50, 300, 400, 500. So imagine thousands of sheep. How much would that be? So in one of the areas of collecting the sheep, the Prophet was overlooking over a valley filled with sheep. And this nomad comes, and the guy, his jaw drops to the ground. So many sheep, it's beyond imagination to them. This is their gold and silver. It's more expensive than gold and silver. So the Prophet looked at him. He doesn't know the guy. He said, "You like this?" The guy said, "Yes, it's yours." "It's yours? Excuse me. What do you mean it's yours? I'm here." The Prophet ﷺ gave it to him. The man ran to his tribe saying, "O people, accept Islam. Muhammad gives the way of a person who does not fear poverty." The Prophet was very generous, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And the companions were also as generous, less but generous. See, the essence of wealth is not how much you have in your bank account. It's the what? 5 minutes for what? And we have something afterwards. Yeah, okay, no problem. They'll wait. I don't see a lot of people sleeping, alhamdulillah. So it is not how much money you have in your bank account. I have 3 cars. How many cars can I ride at the same time? I have so many thobes, maybe 10. How many can I wear at a time? I can wear 3 or 4, but the size is too big. It will not fit. I have chicken, meat, food in my refrigerator. When a dish is made, how many chickens can I eat? Not even 1/2 would do. So we have a problem in our eyes. Never go shopping when you're fasting. True? Never buy food when you're fasting. But we buy and buy and buy and end up with not using it. So what is the definition of wealth? It is not the money you have. It is self-contentment. When you have self-contentment, you are the happiest person on earth. I cannot go through the material because of the time constraint, but imagine if you're satisfied with whatever Allah gives you. Would you have blood pressure? Would you have depression? Would you have diabetes? Diabetes, we eat sweets. But still, there are 2 types of diabetes, resulting in sweets and resulting in calamities. When you have a calamity, people develop it. If you have self-contentment and content with whatever Allah Azza wa Jal decrees upon you, you are the richest man on earth. Happy, because the food is sufficient, and we will have a very beautiful and great hadith afterwards, insha'Allah. So we have خلاص 5 minutes over? 4 minutes more, alhamdulillah. So we go to hadith number 288. Page 197. Now this hadith is marfu' or mawquf? Mawquf. Why? Because it is not related to the Prophet ﷺ, but rather to the companion of the Prophet ﷺ. And the companion is Amr. Is it Amr or Abdullah? Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, one of the great narrators of the hadith. He used to narrate a lot of hadiths, and he had 2 rides load of hadiths. The difference is, Abu Huraira says, I used to memorize, Abdullah ibn Amr used to write. And this is a response to those rejectors of the hadith who claim that the hadith was not written except 200 or 300 years after the death of the Prophet ﷺ. This is a blatant lie. Abdullah ibn Amr used to write. The Prophet used to ask the companions to write to people who come and ask for a written hadith. It was noted down and recorded at the time and life of the Prophet ﷺ. So Abdullah ibn Amr, may Allah be pleased with them, he says that there are 4 qualities. If you're given them, you will not meet with harm, even if the world were to be taken away from you. These qualities, if you have them in you, nothing would harm you. Even if you become poor, if they confiscate your property, your wealth, your money, you have these qualities in you, you're safe. Let us look at them. First of all, he says, good character. This is a problem. We don't have this. Good character is a lecture by itself. How can you be classified as a person with good character? Being kind, being generous, being courageous, being merciful, being forgiving, being hospitable, being caring, always have a smile. Some of the brothers, whenever I meet them, I feel as if I have killed their father. Assalamu alaikum. What have I done to you? Nothing, I'm smiling. If this is smiling, how would you be grudging? They have a problem, serious problem. Some of them have this problem with only their wives and children. The wife complains, Sheikh, I can hear him laughing like a hyena when he's with his friends and outside. The minute he steps into the door, he changes his face and becomes serious and doesn't joke, doesn't accept anything, intimidating the children, intimidating me. You have to have good character. If you don't, you have a big problem. So 1, a good character. And a good character is the thing that uplifts you, not only in this dunya, it uplifts you in Jannah. So high that you are the closest among the people to the Prophet ﷺ. By just having good character? Yes. A person through good character, the Prophet says, reaches a level that no worshipper can reach. Just by having good character. In dunya, does it help? Of course it helps. Nowhere you will find a person with good character except people, when they speak about him, they say, oh, this brother, mashallah, he has the excellent character. He's kind, he's this, he's generous. I made so many bad things to him, but mashallah, mashallah. Number 2, restraint in food. That is mean halal earning. The Arabic word is much easier and better than the Arabic. Afafu tu'ma. Meaning that whatever you eat is halal. And there is a hadith, though it's weak, but it is widely famous and known to scholars. When Sa'd, may Allah be pleased with him, Ibn Abi al-As, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, one of the 10 heaven-bound, Sa'd ibn Malik al-Zuhri, may Allah be pleased with him, the one whom threw the first arrow for the sake of Allah, and the Prophet used to boast about him and say, this is my uncle from my mother's side, so show me your uncles. Meaning no one is like my uncle. Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, one of the great companions, the 10 heaven-bound of the Sahaba. He went to the Prophet and said, O Prophet of Allah, pray to Allah that I become among those whom He answers their da'wah. Is this something good? Imagine that you make dua and Allah answers it immediately. What can be better than this? And Sa'd was known among all the companions, and this is authentic, that he was answered whenever he gives dua. To the extent that once he disputed with Uthman. He had an argument with Uthman. And they went to Umar to solve this problem. And Uthman said, you did not give salam. Sa'ad said, yes, I did salam. Sa'ad saw Uthman coming, said, Assalamu alaikum. Uthman looked him into the eyes and walked by. Sa'ad was angry. He went to Umar. Did anything happen in Islam? He said, no. Did Muslims die somewhere or catastrophe? He said, no. Why? He said, I saw your brother Uthman, gave him salam. He did not reply to me. So immediately Umar does not hold things in the drawer. Send the boy, get Uthman. Pick him up. So Uthman was summoned. Uthman, why didn't you reply to your brother's salam? He did not give salam. He said, I gave salam. No, you did not. Wallahi, I did. Wallahi, you didn't. Now, both of them are what? From the 10 heaven bound. Sahaba. Yani, you cannot go, this is the Supreme Court? No, it's even higher. So Sa'ad said, okay, if you insist, I will make dua. I will make dua against you. Uthman said, do whatever you want, but don't curse. Don't ask Allah to get me out of His mercy. Because I know Allah responds to your dua. I don't care about your dua. Then Uthman said, oh, and now I remember. Yes, by Allah, you did give salam, but I was thinking in a hadith that the Prophet said, I could not even concentrate. And this is a different issue. What I wanted to bring is that he was a person, when making dua, Allah responds, and every companion knew this. So he said, oh Prophet of Allah, ask Allah to make me among those his dua is answered. The Prophet said, make sure that you eat halal and Allah will respond to your dua. And this is why this is relevant to number 2. Restraint in food, that is halal earning. You do your level best not to consume anything except halal. Wallah, when you make dua, Allah will answer you without any hesitation. Number 3, truthful words. This is the third quality. You never lie. You always say the truth. And I personally don't do this. I joke a lot, which is bad for a sheikh, let alone for a Muslim. But may Allah forgive me. This is my habit. I like to joke. But of course, my jokes are so open that people know that it's not that true. But a true, proper Muslim must always maintain to say the truth and nothing but the truth. And we will get to the hadith relating to lying and saying the truth. And fourthly is honoring trust. So when people entrust you with something, you must stand up and fulfill and honor your trust, because otherwise you become a what? A munafiq, a hypocrite. One of the 3 or 4 characteristics of a hypocrite, that they do not honor what they are entrusted with. The majority of the Muslim officials, that is sugar-coated, the majority of Muslim officials do not honor their trust. They abuse their power. And this is not only for them, this cascades down to us. So the section managers, the supervisors, even the young employees, when they look at their role models betraying the trust, they will follow suit. When you fail to have these 4 qualities in you, you will live in turmoil. You will never have peace. You will never have content, because you lose these qualities in you. If you have them in you, no matter what happens, you're always on solid grounds, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. We have a short break, and inshallah we will come back in like 10 minutes.